Hey everyone, so I'm making this video because a lot of people have asked me why I'm kind of private and stuff like that, even though I don't really think, there should be a problem with people being private. About like some details and stuff and why I use like a username instead of my real name. So I'm gonna talk about it. I hate talking about these people that I'm gonna talk about. And I've had a headache all day, jaw pain, my bones hurt. That might sound weird, but I do have pain in my bones for some reason. It's not muscle pain, it's not nerve pain. I've had that. It's not that. It's just pain in my bones, all through my arm and stuff. I don't know why, but I think just because of having to talk about these people that I don't like, that have been the reason why I'm really private. So I guess that's why I've been with headaches and jaw pain and all that stuff. I took 4 ibuprofen. Yeah, and if you like my shirt, I'm wearing a shirt that says weirdo, link below. I'm a weirdo, so that's why I'm wearing it. So it's gonna be a long video, so if you're not ready for a long video with no edits, or I think I might have maybe an edit or two if it's too long, but don't watch the video. But it's gonna be long because I need to explain a lot of stuff and maybe people understand a little bit better, and I don't really want to make a video about this topic ever again. So let's get started. Okay, so the main reason why I am pretty private with information about my life and who I date and things like that is, well, first of all, it's just because, just like celebrities, they want, some of them, not all of them, some of them want their privacy, they don't want, paparazzi following them everywhere. They don't want people taking pictures of their children, significant others, things like that. So that's kind of how I am too. Just because you're famous or whatever, or on YouTube, doesn't mean you need to reveal all your family members, your significant others. It doesn't mean you have to reveal them to everybody because they're not the ones that asked. They're not the ones in doing this. They're not the YouTubers themselves. So it's why am I gonna put them, so it depends, if you have friends and family members that are fine with being in your videos on YouTube, okay, that's cool. But most of my family friends don't want to be on YouTube. They're I don't, they're not really comfortable. Some are, but not very many. So that's one reason, and I just, I don't feel the need to have everyone know every single thing about my life. Like I said, I like my privacy. I'm an introvert too, so I do like my alone time and not have everyone knowing my entire business, because I also don't think it's everyone's business who I'm dating, my family members' names, it's not your business, unless, they choose to put themselves online or be famous or whatever. If they don't choose it, I don't feel like it's my right to put them on there, because I respect people's desires. If they don't want to be in the video, I'm not going to put them in the video. So that's one reason. It's more like a general reason that a lot of people use to not be private, or to not be public with their private lives and stuff like that. And then also just, with significant others, I don't want them in my videos a lot of times because, what if you break up? Then it's gonna be weird for me to have videos of my exes, with my exes in them. So, since I started my YouTube channel, I've had a couple of boyfriends. So, and you guys probably didn't know because I don't put them on YouTube, and I'm glad I did it. I don't regret it, because it would feel weird looking back on my old videos and seeing my exes there, unless I dated somebody who was a public figure and they're on camera all the time and they want to be in a video. Okay, I might maybe make a video with them, but I usually don't. And then also I don't want my channel to be about my life or about my relationships. I know some YouTubers have channels as a couple, oh, it's so cute, that's their thing. Just because they do that doesn't mean I have to do it. And I want my channel to be about the topics that I'm talking about. It's not a channel about my life. It's my channels are about things I like, but there's not about my life. So I don't want my channel to be turned into a me and somebody else's channel. It's about the topics. And then, so the other reasons, they're basically because I've encountered a lot of stalker types, creeps in my life. And I'm just trying to protect myself and my family. And, I don't want to risk my family and my friends getting hurt or bothered by creeps. So I'm gonna just tell you about the experiences I've had with these people so you kind of understand what they did. So the earliest one I remember was when I was 15. I still look the same. No, I'm just kidding. I probably did. But I was 15 and I was at 16, sorry. I was at my cousin's quinceañera. She was, a year younger than me. And, she had like a really big party at they rented like this whole club. And, people were dancing, but I love dancing, but that time I wasn't dancing because I felt I was more shy. Like, I'm still shy, but I was more shy back then. And then I just felt really weird dancing in front of my family, especially my parents, especially because my mom is very, very critical. So, yeah, she would probably say something about my dancing. And, yeah, I was just more embarrassed to dance in front of people at that time. And so I just, was sitting by a table, just like watching everyone else dance. And then all of a sudden it's always really old guys. It's really, really creepy. This like really old guy, and when I mean old, so I was like 16, so he could have been my dad or my grandfather. He was like between the age, between dad age, grandfather age. Like, he came up to me and he had been drinking and he was like grabbing my hand and like, come, let's go dance, like pulling me. And I'm just like, no, like, I did not want to dance with him, and he would not leave me alone, and he kept like trying to pull me. And then I got really mad because like, not only is this guy like trying to like get me to dance and he wouldn't leave me alone, like, I had family there, cousins, parents, and they were just laughing. Like, they thought it was freaking funny that this guy was doing that, and I felt extremely uncomfortable. And just because you think it's funny, like, you should consider what the other person is feeling, the one who's going through the experience. Like, if they feel uncomfortable, you should kind of consider that and not just be, oh, it's funny. Like, yeah, I mean, something's funny for you, but if the other person is feeling bad or is being hurt or uncomfortable, maybe don't be a freaking jerk and try to help them. So, yeah, I'm not close with my family. Maybe you can see why I'm not really close to them. So instead of like trying to like get in there and like get this guy away from me and try to help me, they were just freaking laughing. And then that made me more upset. And I felt like I couldn't escape from this guy because he was just like this big guy and I'm like sitting and he's just like standing over me, grabbing me, and I'm just like, no, I kept like pulling away. And then finally, like, I just like got up and I just went to the bathroom because I'm like, that's the only place I could escape that he hopefully wouldn't come in, unless he's like really, really creepy. He didn't go in the bathroom, but when I went to the bathroom, I just cried because I felt very uncomfortable. I felt like I didn't feel safe, because, this guy could have just grabbed me and my parents would have thought it was freaking funny and my cousins would have thought it was funny, and who knows what he could have done. I'm not saying that's what he was planning on doing, but I felt very uncomfortable and unsafe. And then, just the fact that no one even tried to help, that made me feel even worse. So I was just crying in the bathroom. So yeah, and I just stayed there for a while, and then I finally I came out and I just kind of sat in like a different area, because when I was sitting, when he came up to me, I was sitting like on the outside of the table that was close to the crowd, to the dance floor. So when I came back out, I sat closer to the wall, so that way the table was in front of me and he wouldn't be able to like come in. So I just sat by the wall so that way no one could easily approach me, just to feel safe. And then the other experience I had, so that was just like a one-time thing that happened. It wasn't like throughout months or weeks or anything. But then in high school, around the same time, I think, maybe I was a junior in high school. That's my guess. I don't remember because this was over 10 years ago. But apparently there was one of my friends We didn't have any classes together because I was all, taking honors classes, and she was taking, the regular classes. And so I never saw her in class. And I had pretty much the same people in all my classes. And, because all the honor students pretty much had, like, the same classes and everything. And so, my friend and I, we would hang out on lunch. And then one time she was like, oh, this guy likes you. She told me his name. And I was like, I don't even know who that is. And then she showed me who he was. We were walking around school during lunch, and then she showed me who it was, and I was like, I don't know. I've never talked to him before. I don't know this guy. So this guy that I don't even know apparently liked me. Apparently he only liked me for my looks because he's never talked to me before, and I've never talked to him, so that didn't really make me feel good. It's like, you don't really like me, you just like the way I look because you're creepy and you've never actually talked to me. There was no YouTube, and at the time, like, there's nothing out about me in the internet that he would get to know me by, so it's like, you're obviously just like me for my looks, so I don't like you already because of that. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know why she told me that, too. I was like, okay, well, why are you telling me, like, I'm not gonna go out with him, I don't know him, he's creepy, because I don't know, he didn't really have any friends and everything, and, then what made it worse is like when my friends and I have like different groups of friends that I would hang out with in lunch. One day I'd hang out with one group and then another group, but then the group that this friend was in, the girl, we like to walk around after we ate, burn off those calories. We would walk around school, and our high school was cool because it was an outdoor school where, like, instead of like all the classes being inside this one big building, basically the classes were like their own little buildings, and you would walk outside the class and you were outside. So I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, but so like, the outdoors, there's a lot of outdoor area, and so we just like walk around, because we like to walk around, say hi to different people, so maybe walk by the guys we liked, we would like walk by them and look at them and stuff, maybe say hi if they liked us, I don't know, whatever. So we walked around, and this creepy guy that liked me, he was like in this like little hidden area. It was like covered. It was like a covered area of the school, and he had a freaking camera like the one I have, like a DSLR type of thing, like those big cameras, and he would freaking take pictures of me like when we would walk by. And like the first time it happened, I was like, what? Like, first time it happened, I don't know if it's like I didn't know it was gonna be a continuous thing. I thought it was just like a one-time thing, and I was like, okay. And then, but then, we'd walk around different days, and every time we would walk by, he would take pictures. So it's just like, I felt like I was a freaking celebrity there, like, and then, every time I would walk by, I would like cover my face, kind of look away like that, because I'm like, I don't want him to have pictures of me. It's so freaking creepy. Like, you're like, you like me, but you're so freaking, you have like no balls, like, you don't even talk to me, and you're freaking taking pictures of me as I'm walking by. Like, that's freaking creepy. And then after a while, I'm just like, I'm not even gonna walk over there. Like, my friends, if they walked over there, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go this way. Or I would just tell them, like, can we not walk over there, because this guy's freaking taking pictures of me. And then my friend that told me about him, that, he liked me, she just, like, didn't really do anything. I'm like, God, what kind of people do I have in my life that don't even care about protecting me? Or about helping me? Seriously. Like, because I'm not gonna talk to him. He's freaking creepy, okay? I'm not gonna talk to creeps. If you're a friend, you would go and, like, talk to them for your friend who feels very uncomfortable. I've done that before. Like, if a guy is making a friend of mine uncomfortable, I'll go and talk to him, and be like, stop it, or let's get away, or you're not gonna talk to my friend. Stuff like that, because I'm a good friend. But there's not a lot of people like that, I guess. So yeah, of course I'm not gonna talk to him. He's disgusting and creepy. And so yeah, he kept doing that. And then luckily, I'm so glad I didn't have him for any class, because I could just see, like, he'd probably, like, sit right behind me and, like, not even talk to me, which is so freaking creepy. Like, that's even more creepy, I think, when, like, a guy just, like, stares at you and, like, follows you and all this stuff, but, like, they never talk to you. It's very, very creepy. And then one time I was at home, I was home alone, but I was, like, what, 16, 17, I don't know, around that age. So, you know, it's not like a big deal that I was at home alone. And I was gonna walk outside to get the mail. And then, you know, we have like windows right by the front door so I could easily look outside. And I saw him on my freaking front lawn, like just standing there. And then I saw his brother. He had like an older brother, and I saw his brother freaking driving away. So his stupid brother, contributing to this, freaking dropped him off in front of my house. Like, how freaking pathetic is that? It's like you have no friends, so you have to have your older brother come and drop you off. And what, did you like make up something that like we're dating or something and I'm your girlfriend? He probably did. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he made up something like that. And he just like stood there in front of my house, like, and I was about to get the mail, and I'm like, okay, guess I'm not gonna get the mail today. So I just didn't go outside, and I closed the blinds and everything. I'm like, I don't want him to look inside. So I just stayed inside until my parents got home. And I really wanted to call the cops or something, but it's like, no, looking back at it, like, I wish I would have told my younger self. I wish I could go back and tell my younger self, call the cops, you know, something. But I think just the fact that I felt like nobody cared about what happened to me, and, you know, because of all the other experiences, like, no one cares that I'm uncomfortable, and no one cares that these guys are creeping me out. Like, I'm like, okay, if my own family and friends don't care, why the heck would the cops care? You know, if I told them, this guy is really creepy, he takes pictures of me in school, he just standing outside my house, like, uninvited, I just felt like they wouldn't do anything because he hadn't really committed a crime. You know, it's just things that make me feel uncomfortable, and they are very creepy, but, like, I don't think it's a crime to, like, stand. I guess I could have said maybe he was trespassing. You know, now thinking back on it, maybe I could have said that. But then they'd probably be like, well, go tell him to leave. And I just did not want to talk to him because he's very creepy and he made me feel very uncomfortable. That's probably what he wants. He wants me to talk to him, and I don't want to talk to him. You know, I don't want to give him that attention. So, you know, that's why I didn't really call the cops. I just felt like nobody would care, you know, because it didn't seem like anyone cared before. Why would the cops care? So, you know, I wish, looking back on it, that I would have called the cops and maybe just insisted that they do something. And then I didn't tell my parents because they would have just blamed me because I'm not close to them. But you know, I'm the oldest, so, you know, typical firstborn stuff, you know, I get blamed for everything growing up, even though it's not my fault. You know, if my siblings did something, they would blame me. If I was there, they would blame me because they're like, oh, you were there and you didn't stop it. And then if I wasn't there, they blamed me because they're like, why weren't you there to stop it? So it's like, no matter what, it was always my freaking fault. You know, I'm surprised they didn't blame me for 9/11, you know, because I'm pretty sure they would have said it was my fault somehow. And so I didn't tell them because, well, first of all, they didn't even care about that older guy be making me very uncomfortable. And then, like I said, they would have blamed me. They probably would have said, oh, maybe it's the way you dress, or, you know, what did you say to him, even though I've never talked to him before in my life. Like, somehow they would have found a way to blame me for it. So it's like, I already feel horrible about the situation. I'm not gonna tell my parents and have them make me feel even more awful. You know, if it was something that was going to make things better or help the situation, I would have done it. But since telling them would have just made things worse, like, I'm not going to tell them, you know. So I felt very alone in the situation. I had to handle it by myself because no one seemed to care that he was making me feel uncomfortable. So I just basically avoided him the entire time. High school, I basically didn't even walk in that area. And then, I don't know what happened to him, and I don't freaking care. So the next creep, I'm gonna call them creeps because that's what they are. You're creepy, you're a creep. So the next one was in 2000, a few years after high school, 2005, when I was working at Walt Disney World. I talked about him in my working at Walt Disney World video, so if you saw it, I might be repeating myself. So this guy, oh my gosh, before I talk about him, there's actually another guy in high school, sorry. So this guy was like, I encountered him senior year, And my second to last class of the day was the newspaper class, because I was in the school newspaper. I loved it. I had a lot of friends there. It's awesome. And then we had this new student, and he was like a sophomore, so he was a couple years younger than me. And I noticed he was like sitting kind of in the back by himself. No one really talked to him. And me, being a shy person, knowing what it's like to not have people like talk to you or whatever, I always try to be nice to shy people, because I know what it's like to have people like ignore you and stuff. So I tried to be nice to him. I just went up to him and I was like, hey, how are you? It's nice to meet you. Welcome to the class. Just stuff like that. If you need any help, let me know. That was it. Just like a friendly welcome. And then I guess he freaking misinterpreted that to think that I was interested in him romantically. Oh god, so annoying. So annoying when that happens, because it happens a lot. Being friendly does not mean a girl likes you. So one time he walked with me. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but like one time he just walked with me to my last class, which wasn't too far from the newspaper one. And then I think we were just like talking, so I didn't really think anything that weird, like, oh, you're just walking with me to my other class, whatever. And then when that class was done, I walked outside and he was there. Like, he went from his last class, to go like get me at my class, even though I did not want him to or whatever. I was just like, okay, whatever. And then we just walked to where they pick the students up, and that was a way longer walk, because my last class was like a complete opposite side of like where you get picked up. So it was a longer walk, and we just walked and talked or whatever. So it just happened, happened that one time. I was like, okay, whatever. But then he kept doing it every freaking day after my newspaper class. He would like walk with me to the last class. Then after it was done, he somehow made, like, I would try to leave the last class like as fast as I can so he wouldn't be there, but somehow he freaking, I don't know if he like sprinted, I don't know where his last class was, but he was like freaking there all the time after my last class. I'm like, oh my god. And it was like torture having to walk like to where I get picked up, having to walk and like having him walk there with me. I'm just like, oh my god. Like, and then he was just like, oh, we should go on a double date, like, or like me and some friends. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, just making every excuse I can to say no. I'm like trying to be freaking nice right here and like trying to let this guy down gently, but he doesn't freaking get it. So it's like, you can't get mad if a girl is kind of mean to you when she rejects you, because a lot of us, we try to be nice to you and reject you in a nice way by making up all these excuses, because we don't want to say outright we don't like you. But hey, if you don't get the message, we're gonna have to say those words, we don't like you. So maybe just get the message, and so then we don't have to actually be mean and say those words. So yeah, so I was trying to make up all those excuses, and then it was torture too, like not just a walk to where I get picked up, and then because he would also hang out, he would like stay right there. I'm like, does this guy have freaking parents or something? Like, because he would stay there until I got picked up. I'm like, what? Like, does no one like care about this kid? Like, just and then I got so mad because my mom, she would always be very late picking me up. She would just take her sweet freaking time, and so that made it even worse because I had to stay with him longer. They're waiting for my mom. All my friends getting picked up. I'm like, no, don't leave. No, don't leave me alone with this guy. Oh shoot! Like, they're all freaking leaving. And then my mom's it's taking forever to pick me up, and I'm like, great, now I'm still with this guy, like, because no one's picking him up. I don't know where his family is, like, he has like nobody in his life or something, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, so he just got so freaking attached. I'm sure, let me answer this. Had to pick up the phone. It was work. I couldn't not pick it up. I left off with him, with waiting for my mom to pick me up and having to be with this annoying kid. So I was just, being really annoyed with the fact that he would freaking, walk with me all the time after, the end of classes, and then, kept asking me out, and he wouldn't take any excuse. He wouldn't, like, every excuse I would give him, he would still keep insisting. So he didn't get it. So I'm just like, okay, what is a place that I can go to where he can't follow me? The bathroom. Again, that's like my escape. So, you know, went to school again, happened again. He's like, you know, after my last class, he's freaking there again. I'm just like, oh my god. And so, like, it's like no matter how fast I try to leave the class, he was there. Like, I don't know if he didn't even go to his last class. He would just, like, stay there outside because somehow he made it, like, right there. And so, you know, he was, you know, we're, like, walking to where I get picked up. And then I told him, like, hey, you know, my friend needs to talk to me in the bathroom. You know, it's kind of a private conversation. I said, oh, I'm going to be there for a while. You know, I don't know. I might be there for like an hour or so, you know, just saying it's going to be a long time. So I'm going to be in the bathroom. Then he's like, okay. And so I went to the bathroom, you know, we got to the bathroom and I went in the bathroom and I just hung out in the bathroom for like a half hour. I thought, you know, a half hour would be good. Yeah, I was like looking at my watch, you know, doing homework, whatever, just hanging out in the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, a half hour, he should be gone. Hopefully, like, somebody already picked him up. And then I opened the door to leave the bathroom, and he's standing right freaking there. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? I wanted to cry when that happened. Like, I seriously wanted to cry. Like, why are you still here? Like, oh my god. I didn't ask you to wait for me. I told you I was gonna be there for a long time. Isn't anybody picking you up? Like, oh my god. And he's like, so how's your friend? I'm just like, oh my god. Like, oh, she's good. Oh, I just like walked to where I get picked up because it wasn't too far from the bathroom. And I was just like walking there. I'm like, I just want to die right now. So yeah, and you know, he was there. I'm like, okay, I guess that didn't freaking work. And I don't know how that guy was still there. I'm like, seriously? Like, no one is gonna pick this kid up? When does he get picked up? Does he even leave the school? Like, he's just always there. And then I don't remember exactly how it got him, how like it stopped. I think because I don't remember. I didn't tell him out. I don't remember. Like, I really don't. It was like over 10 years ago. So I think I just tried to like leave with people after my last class, because I did have friends there, but for some reason, like, they would all like disperse after the class. And like, so then this guy, you know, saw me by myself, and then he would walk with me. So now, like, I try to make an effort to really like leave with somebody after that class. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave with you, talk with you, okay, let's go, you know. And then I think I remember I did say something about how like I just don't want to date anybody right now, or something like that. Just, I made up another excuse. And yeah, I don't remember like the end of that, but that was freaking annoying. Or maybe he like moved. I don't remember. I really don't, because I don't remember him at the end of the year, because I remember in our newspaper class at the end of the year we had like this whole party and everything, and I don't remember him there. So I don't know what happened. And again, I already gave you the reasons why I didn't tell my parents, police, nothing about this kid. I didn't tell administrators because I felt no one would care. You know, it's kind of sad. Because if this was happening to somebody else, I would have told them, you should tell somebody, blah, blah, blah. But this was me, so I felt like no one would care. No one cared in the past. Why would they care now? So the next one is the one that was at Walt Disney World. And so, you know, before I worked at the hotel there as a housekeeper, and before we went to work on our rooms, they would have meetings every day, you know, kind of like Walmart, you know, they have like their meetings. You know, that's the only time all the employees saw each other. You know, we would see the janitors, other, like, you know, people that worked in the hotel. And so I guess this, like, you know, young janitor guy, you know, he saw me there, and I guess he, like, had a crush on me. And, you know, he talked to me once, and I was like, oh, yeah, nice to meet you, whatever. Nothing, I wasn't flirting with him, nothing, just being friendly. Oh, hi, nice to meet you, whatever. He came up to me, I didn't go up to him. And then I remember he drew me a drawing of Tinkerbell, and he wrote like some letter about how he thinks I'm beautiful, and like how he would like to go out sometime with his phone number. I don't know what happened to the letter and the drawing. I wish I would have kept it as like evidence, but for some reason, I don't know, I lost it. I don't remember throwing it away, so I don't know what the frick happened to it. I wish I still had it, just, you know, because like, I'm like, I wouldn't throw it away because I know I would probably need it in case I wanted to file like a restraining order or something. And then it was kind of annoying too, because I'm like, okay, it's another guy who probably just likes me for my looks, because you would, if you actually knew me, you would know I'm not really a Tinkerbell fan. It's like, oh, okay, what, can you at least get to know me before you like give me a gift, you know, find out what I like. I hate when people don't do research on who they're getting a gift for. Like, I had this other chef at cook at IHOP where I worked. He liked me and he freaking got me a gold ring and roses. Two things I don't like. I don't like gold. I don't wear any gold, and I don't like roses. I like white roses, but not red roses. But I like other flowers more than roses. I'm just like, dude, wow, great job in really getting to know me. You got me things I don't like. And then somebody else got me red wine. I don't drink red wine. If you know me, you know the kind of wine that I like to drink is plum wine. So it's just kind of annoying when people claim that they like you and all that stuff, and then they get you things that show you they really don't even know you. So I'm like, so do you just like me for my looks or what? Like, I don't want to be with someone who just likes me for my looks. So yeah, he did a Tinkerbell drawing. Like, okay, Peter Pan, that's who I like in the movie. Peter Pan, that's who you would draw, not freaking Tinkerbell. So I never called him because obviously I didn't like him. You know, I would kind of hope that he would have gotten the message. You know, gave me his number. I never called him. Shit, my phone again. And yeah, he didn't get the message. And then my friends and I had two friends that worked at the hotel with me, but we didn't work together all the time. Sometimes I worked and they were both off, or it was just one and another girl and the other girl was off. But there was like, I think one day a week where I was the only one that worked with my friends, which I hated. I hated that day because I liked, you know, having my friends there, and then like he would always try to talk to me when I was by myself. And then, you know, when we were all there, we would like hang out at this one table before the meeting. And so he, you know, he saw that, and then it got really annoying because we would walk towards the table where we would sit at, and he was there, like, because he knew that's where we sat, and he was just like, the first time he was there, I was like, oh god. But I was like, okay, it's just one time, whatever. My friend, oh, hi, nice to my friend's like really friendly, so she was all talking to him. I'm just like, oh god, can you freaking leave? And then it kept happening every morning. He was freaking there at the table. I'm like, oh god. And it was just kind of annoying too, because like my friends could see that he was trying really hard to like impress me. He's like, look at my drawings, like, and this one and showing them off. It's like, no, not interested. I'm sorry. I mean, drawing is cool. I do like when people can draw, but it's just the fact that he was just like trying way too hard, and I just was not interested, and my friends weren't interested either. So it's like I don't know. We just felt very uncomfortable because he was just there like waiting for us. And then I think it was, I don't know if it was after I don't know, one of the times we were there at the table, but it was after we were done with work and we needed a ride home somehow. I think like the shuttle that usually comes for us was not going to come for a long time or something. I don't know, but we needed a ride because we got off work very late, and he was there. And my friend at that time, one of them who was there with me, she didn't know how like uncomfortable he made me, and she didn't know yet. And then he found out that we needed a ride or something, and he's like, oh, I'll give you a ride. And I was like, no. And my friend was like, sure, why not? I'm like, god dang it. So she, you know, she got in the back seat and I had to sit in the front seat with him, and I was like this, like in the car, like, oh my god, like just like not even talking to him. Then my friends all talking to him, like, just get us home, and I want to get the frick out of this car. And because I'm like, I was mad because I'm like, great, now he thinks that he has a chance with me and I like him, and it's definitely not true. So it's like, I don't want to give the wrong signals, dude. You know, that's why, like, you know, I didn't like him, so I didn't want to like get in the car with him and you know, give him, you know, the wrong message, you know. So but my friend, like, you know, she was like very friendly, like, okay. She didn't know that how uncomfortable he made me. And then like I told my friends, And then, you know, oh yeah, and then the other thing that happened too is like, this was kind of like the last straw for me, was the one time I was there at work by myself. You know, my friends weren't working that day, they were off, and I went to the computer lab, because they have like a little computer lab where you can use the internet, read books or whatever. They had like a little library in there, and I had used it before. You know, when my friends weren't working, I would usually go there, and before, the other times I'd gone there, I never saw him in there. And then somehow I guess he found out that I like going there. And, you know, so I was there, and I was the only one in that little lab library thing. There were plenty of empty chairs. And he comes in and he sits right freaking next to me. And I'm just like, oh, God. Like, really? Out of all the freaking chairs, you have to sit right next to me? I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I just, like, as soon as he sat down, I freaking left. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and, like, be tortured by sitting next to this guy who's like really creepy and making me feel really uncomfortable. So I just went to the bathroom again, because like that's the only place I can go that they're not gonna follow me. So I went to the bathroom and I cried, and I called my boyfriend at the time, who was actually the manager. So yeah, I was dating my manager. He was only like 5 years older than me, so it's not like, oh my god, it's such a huge difference. But I called my boyfriend, or was he 3 years older? No, I think he was 5 years older than me. And he was off that day too, so I was mad that like both my friends and my boyfriend were off that day. And I was like, okay, I can't take this anymore. This guy's making me feel very uncomfortable. You know, he's like, has to be everywhere I am. It's very, very creepy. Like, can I just go somewhere and not have him be there? That would be nice. But no, he's freaking like, it's very creepy when like you would, you know, everywhere you go, he's there and he's not welcome. I didn't say, hey, let's go, let's hang out. No. Okay. And then, you know, I guess it didn't help too that my friend said, yeah, let's go, you know, we'll accept a ride from you. My lips are getting all dry now. And so, you know, I was crying. I told my boyfriend what happened. He's like, okay, maybe you can file a restraining order or something. And I was like, oh, but again, I'm like, he hasn't actually done anything like illegal, just being very creepy and following me around. So I was like, okay, maybe. But then my other manager, she was a woman. She's like, okay, I told her what happened, or my boyfriend, I think, told her what happened. And she talked to me and she's like, okay, well, just before you go through the trouble of filing a restraining order, you know, just tell him, give him like one chance, like tell him that like he's making you feel uncomfortable and to stop, and ask him to stop. And then if he still doesn't, then file a restraining order. But the problem was like, I did not want to talk to this guy, because like I said, that's what he wants. He wants me to give him attention. He wants me to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. He makes me very uncomfortable. I'm not going to talk to him. So I had my friend, not the really nice one that was like, oh sure, we'll go in a car with you. It was another one. My other one is still nice, but she's not like as like, she's more suspicious, I guess. And so I told her what happened, and you know what the manager said and everything. And so another morning, here he goes, like coming up to us again. I was just like so sick of him. I'm like, don't even look at him. I don't even want to talk to him. I was just like looking away, like I can't. And like my friend went up to him and she's like, you know what? She said that he was making all of us uncomfortable, just kind of, I guess, to help me out. She's like, you're making all of us very uncomfortable, you know, by showing up everywhere all the time where we are. And, you know, if you don't leave us alone, we're going to file a restraining order. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry. And then he just like left, and like he tried to like talk to me more, and I'm just like kind of going away, like I don't want to talk to you. And then he left and he stopped, so I didn't file a restraining order. But it's just, you know, I'm so happy. I'm glad I finally had a friend who helped me out in that situation and talked to the guy for me, because that's what friends are for. You know, that's what friends should do. You know, help protect your friends if they're in trouble or are uncomfortable. So thank you, Vanessa. I love you. You're my hero. And yes, he stopped. But I was ready. I'm like, if you try anything, I will file a restraining order. Luckily, he didn't try anything else. So after that, I haven't had anything that bad happen with like guys like being everywhere all the time, but after all those experiences with those guys just like following me and like taking pictures of me and like all that stuff, I had to be mean. You know, I'm still a nice person, but I'm not as nice as I used to be, like, because of all those experiences. I just, you know, really have to protect myself because no one else, as you can see, is gonna protect me. So, you know, if you see me, like, walking down the street by myself, I'm gonna have, like, a mean look on my face instead of, like, you know, maybe when I was younger, I'd be more, like, have a happier look on my face, but now I'm, like, have, like, the mean face, like, don't mess with me face on, because I'm just doing it for protection, you know, because, you know, when, if I come off as, like, super nice all the time, then guys are more likely to talk to me and, like, you know, misinterpret my friendliness with me liking them. So, and even though I do have my mean face on, there are guys that still talk to me, but I feel like it does work, just kind of having that tough exterior, because, you know, since, you know, that time, you know, the last time in Walt Disney World with that guy, that was in 2005, I haven't really had anything that bad happen, so I guess it does work. But I'm not saying it's gonna work all the time, you know, because there are still guys that bother me and stuff, but I haven't had that type of, like, guy do stuff like that with, like, being everywhere and, following me and stuff, and, I'm just, unfortunately, I can't be, like, as friendly as I used to be, like, you know, with that one kid in my newspaper class, like, you know, I went up to him, oh, hi, you know, nice to meet you, blah, blah, and there were other times if I was in school or work or something and I saw a person alone like that. If it's a girl, like, I don't really worry about it, because I know, usually it's not gonna be a girl, it's gonna get all creepy with me, but, like, a guy, you know, there'd be times where I would see a, you know, guy by themselves like that, and I'm like, oh, I want to go, you know, say hi, just, you know, to be friendly, but then I'm like, okay, I can't now, I have to kind of hold back and not be as nice, because I don't want that stuff to happen to me again. So, kind of stinks that, like, they kind of ruined it for everyone, that I can't be as friendly as I used to be, because I have to protect myself. And then, you know, now it's scarier with the internet, and I mean, there's still internet that time, but we didn't have, I think I just got on Facebook, so that's pretty much all I had, but now there's, like, Twitter, Instagram, there's, like, a lot more social media. Now people can look at your family members, your friends, and stuff like that, so now I feel like there's even more reason to be more protective of myself, because, like I said at the beginning, you know, I don't want people bothering my friends, my family, threatening them, you know, or anything like that. You know, not that it's happened, but it could happen. And I just feel very weird about, like, strangers knowing my family members, you know, what they look like, especially my little sister. Like, you know, I have younger siblings, but my youngest one, like, if anyone ever hurts her, I will seriously kill you. Like, I don't care. She is everything to me, and I love her so much, and yeah, so I'm very protective of her, so I'm ready. If anyone tries to do anything to her, I will hurt you. So, you know, that's another reason I'm trying to, like, keep her safe too from any creeps out there. But, you know, no matter what, how hard I try, you know, there are still gonna be creeps out there. In LA in the past year, I did have some experiences with, okay, first this was a couple of months ago, I was at bar dancing, and I noticed this creepy guy, just, like, again, loner. That's kind of a pattern here. They're all loners, with no friends. Like, that's kind of a sign. I'm not saying everyone who doesn't have friends and is alone is a creep, but there's a higher chance, because every guy that I encountered who was like that, except, like, that old man at the beginning, they don't have any friends, it doesn't seem, and they're, like, loners. I'm a loner too, but I choose to be a loner, and I have friends, so that's a difference. I'm a loner who has friends, and sometimes I want to be alone, so I'll be by myself, I'll do things by myself, but I actually still have friends. These guys, like, don't have friends, probably because they're very creepy. They creep people out, so no one's gonna want to be friends with them. So there's, you know, I was dancing at this bar, there was a creepy guy there who kept trying to dance with me the whole night, and, you know, luckily I had a good amount of friends there, so I would just, like, dance with them. I had guy friends there, so I was, like, dancing with them, and then at one point I remember I was dancing with two of my guy friends, and this guy still kept trying to get in and, like, dance with us. I'm like, oh my god, like, this guy's, like, not giving up. And so I'm just like trying to get closer to them, move away from the guy. And then at one point, like when like there was like one point where I was like by myself for like 2 seconds, where like my friends were like looking away, and he freaking like went up to me and like touched me down there. And like, you know, he was trying to grab me. I felt like he wasn't just like trying to like do a light rub. He was trying to grab me, but he was only able to like kind of like rub against my, you know. And so it's like, oh my god. So I just freaking like, I didn't run because I didn't want to cause a scene or anything, because I'm still considerate even after that happened. I'm still like, oh, I don't want to cause a scene. So I just like walked really fast. I just left the club. I walked outside. I was like, I just want to leave right now. Like, I feel awful. I'm scared, uncomfortable. And I wish I would have told the bouncer, because the bouncer was actually nice at that bar. All the other staff, jerks, but the bouncer was actually nice, and he actually, you know, was very nice with me too. And I know he would have cared that happened, but at that moment, like, when you're in the moment, it's hard, you know, looking back, you know, hindsight, you're like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. But when you're in the moment, it's hard to think clearly sometimes, especially when you feel like you're in danger, you're not safe. Like, you just want to get away from the situation. So that's what I was like. I just left. I'm like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to see a stupid face. So I just, you know, got a lift or whatever, and I just left. And then the next week I went to the bar again. And I've been there to that bar almost every week, so that was the first time I ever saw him there. So it's not like he was there all the time. And so I went the next week. I told the bouncer what happened, and he's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry that happened. You should have told me. He's like, next time, you know, please tell me if you see him there today. Let me know. We'll kick him out. You know, it's like, you should not feel uncomfortable, you know, here at the club or whatever. And yeah, so then, you know, that applies to like at work and school, you know, with those two guys at school and then at work. They all made me feel very uncomfortable being there, and that's not right. You know, if, you know, even though maybe what they were doing, you know, they don't think it was bad, like, you're making me feel uncomfortable. If you're making somebody feel uncomfortable where they shouldn't be uncomfortable, at work or school, at a bar, whatever, you're in the wrong and you need to stop. So I guess, you know, that's another reason I could have told the cops or something, because I felt scared to go to school. I felt scared to go to work, uncomfortable because of these guys. So please, if you're in the situation, there's a guy or girl, whatever, who's making you feel very uncomfortable, or you feel safe going to work or school, please tell somebody. Please learn from my mistakes. Don't, you know, hopefully there is somebody that's going to care, and like, if no one wants to do anything, keep trying to tell different people, and hopefully something will get done. You know, take action. Please learn from my mistake, so you don't have to go through what I went through. And then the other thing that happened too recently here, you know, I live downtown, definitely want to move away. There's way too many creepy people here. I was walking to the ATM with my dog. The ATM's like a mile and a half away, and I had my little earbuds on. I'm walking, you know, because that's kind of my universal symbol of like, don't freaking talk to me, I'm listening to stuff. And you know, so I'm walking. I kind of could hear like this guy yelling. I couldn't really hear him clearly because I have my music on. So, you know, I looked at kind of just, I didn't really want to turn my whole face because I didn't want to know I was looking at him. I kind of just like side eye, you know, like I saw he was like causing commotion and like yelling and stuff, and I think he was like yelling at me, but I wasn't sure. So I just like kept walking, and then like I could hear like the yelling behind me, like he was following me and still yelling. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna like pretend I don't hear him, just keep walking, you know, trying to walk a little fast. And then I saw him like walk like this way, this side of me, and still yelling. I'm just like, oh my god, like I don't know what he's yelling, but I don't want to give him any attention because that's what he wants. So I'm just gonna like just keep walking to the ATM and pretend I don't hear him. Keep walking. And I got to the ATM, and he freaking sat down behind, like I was at the ATM, he sat down on the street behind me while I'm on the ATM. I'm like, oh my god, you're freaking kidding me right now. I have a dog too. So the dog, it didn't even matter that I had the dog. And so I was looking at him, you know, because ATMs that have like a little mirror. So I was using the mirror to look at him, you know, like a detective, you know. So I'm looking at the mirror to look at him so he wouldn't know I was looking at him. So I'm like looking at him. He's still sitting right there while I'm using the ATM. So I'm like, my head, I'm like, you know, using the ATM, and I'm just like, okay, he probably thinks that I'm gonna walk back the same way I came, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk the opposite way. And so luckily I had these like flats that are very quiet. And so what I did was, like, as soon as I was done with the ATM, very quietly I walked the other way, like super, like, it's kind of like quiet sprinting, I guess. Like, I didn't walk slowly, but I also walked like, it's like a speed walking, but faster, you know. But also, you know, but quiet. So fast speed walking, quiet speed walking. I don't know. So I was trying to walk really fast to get away from him. And then luckily I was able to, like, he didn't realize that I had walked the other way, and I was able to, like, cross the street and, like, get a good distance away. And then I looked, and he was like he was looking for me. Like, he didn't see where I went. And I was just like, yes, I'm so happy I freaking escaped from him. But I was ready. I had like 911 on my phone. I was ready to call 911. This time I was like, I'm gonna call the cops if this guy keeps following me. But I was able to escape from him. So that happened. So it's just great. And then here at my own freaking apartment building, there's this guy that I noticed he would, like, I would encounter him sometimes, like, coming in and out of the building, and he would just, like, the first time I thought he was looking at me, but I didn't know for sure, and I was like, oh, it's like once, whatever. But then, like, I saw him a few times, and I felt like he was looking at me every time. And sometimes you can just tell when somebody's looking at you. It's not like I think everyone looks at me. So I'm like, oh, I feel like he's looking at me again. And then so another time I was, like, outside taking my dog out to pee and poop or whatever, and then I came back upstairs inside, and I walked upstairs, and my apartment's, like, right up the stairs. As soon as you walk upstairs, my apartment's right there, the door. So I'm, like, opening the door, and then I look down the stairs, and he's at the bottom of the stairs, and he's just, like, looking at me, like, slurping a drink, like, smiling, and I'm just like, what are you waiting for? I actually said something to him, you know? I was like, what are you waiting for? And he's like, oh, I'm just waiting for you to go inside your apartment. Like, smiling, like this stupid smirk, this stupid drink. I was like, oh my freaking gosh. Like, and it's like, at that point, I couldn't, like, pretend I didn't live there. I couldn't be like, oh, I don't live in this one, I live in the other one, so he wouldn't know where I live, because he already saw me, like, opening the door. So, you know, and I had to go to work, drop off my dog, so I'm like, oh, dang, I just, like, went inside, and I, you know, left my dog, and I went to work. But I was like, oh, great, now he knows where I freaking live. And then, one time he saw me in my car, like, I parked, and I was in my car, you know, trying to gather my things, and then I saw him, like, walk by. I'm like, great, so now he knows what my car is. He knows where I live, he knows what apartment I'm in, he knows which car I have. I'm like, that's freaking great. So luckily I haven't really seen him since then, so it's good. I'm not really home a lot, but it was just, like, annoying that I kept seeing him all the time. So hopefully I don't see him anymore, and if I do, hopefully he leaves me alone. But that's just another, like, really creepy thing. I'm like, great. And I don't even know if he lives in this building, because I don't know if he's just, like, friends or family with another resident, and that's why he was there. Maybe that's why I haven't really seen him lately, because every time I would see him, he was with other people. So I don't know if he was just, like, visiting or something. But yeah, you know, that just happened, like, a couple weeks ago. So creepy guys are always there. And then I encounter a lot of just throughout my years, so a lot of really creepy older guys that talk to me. Oh, it's really, really annoying and very creepy, because I remember in college when my friends and I would go to clubs and bars and stuff like that, my girlfriends would, like, you know, they would get hit on by guys around our age, which makes sense. And then who would talk to me? It's always a freaking fathers, grandfathers, you know, people that could be my dad or my grandfather. I'm like, why? Every freaking time. It was so annoying. Like, so I find it very creepy, because I know I look very young, so it's like, okay, for a guy that could be my dad or grandfather trying to, like, get with, like, a girl who looks very young, like, to me that's very, very creepy. It seems like you're kind of a pedophile, because you're obviously you're this older guy going for a very young looking girl. you know, it's not like you knew that I'm like in my 20s or something. You think I'm very young. That's why you're like talking to me. So that's why I find it very creepy. It's very pedophilic, if that's even a word. But it's like, it never fails. I've had older like gentlemen tell me that they like me and they're like grandfather age. It's very, very creepy. So excuse me if I'm not going to be friendly with every freaking male stranger, and if I'm a little bit more cautious and guarded. I have reasons. I have very, very good reasons. So yeah, I'm sorry, especially if you can be my dad or my grandfather. Can you just not, don't be creepy. Don't hit on me. You know, I don't like, sorry, I just don't date guys that are that much older than me. So if you're interested, it's not gonna happen. Just telling you right now, I don't date guys that are that much older than me. So that's pretty much the main reasons why I am very private, very cautious and guarded, and don't really reveal too much about myself. You know, because I need to protect myself, because no one else is going to protect me. You know, eventually, you know, some people already know my name, and more people probably end up knowing it soon. But if you try anything, you know, try to hurt me or bother my family or friends or try to stalk me or anything like that, I will call the cops. I learned. I will not hesitate. So please don't even try it. You know, I'm gonna protect myself. I know I said that a lot already, but I just need people to understand that. Just don't be freaking creepy. And if you find me on Facebook, my personal profile, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna add you as my friend if I don't know you, because like I said, I need to protect myself. I don't know who you know. I don't know if, you know, somebody is telling you to be my friend so you can get information about me and look at my profile. No. Okay, I'm sorry. No. I've always had that rule, pretty much, you know, that I don't add people on Facebook unless I actually know them or, you know, I've met them before. So just don't even request me, because I'm going to say no if I don't know you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're a nice person, but if I don't know you, I just don't feel comfortable adding you. Sorry. You know, it's what happens when a bunch of guys creep you out and don't make you feel safe or comfortable. They ruin it for everyone, so you can thank them. And sorry the video was very, very long, but I really need to explain this because I really don't want to have to talk about it again. And, you know, it's better just let it all out in one video, and then hopefully I don't have to talk about it again. So hopefully you guys understand. And, you know, unless you know, have to go through what I go through and many other women, where like every time we go out we have to have some creep say something to us and bother us, and maybe don't even say anything if you don't understand that. If you don't want to understand that, don't say anything, because you don't understand and you don't know what we go through. So, you know, it makes us very uncomfortable, and we have to, you know, go through this because we have to live our lives, we have to go to work and do all this stuff, but we still have to deal with like creepy guys like coming and talking to us when we don't want them to talk to us. We like can't even get freaking gas without some guy like trying to hit on you, and it's always, for me, it's always like it's some really, really old guy, and it's very, very creepy. So yeah, if you did watch this video, the whole thing, I really appreciate it. Please let me know in the comments that you watched it by writing the word peach with your comment, because I know there's going to be people that are not going to watch the whole video. They're going to start criticizing me. They're going to see the title and only watch like 10 minutes and like think they already know everything. So I'm not going to respect their opinion. I'm not going to reply to them. So at least let me know that you did watch the whole thing by writing peach with your comment, and then I will respect your comment a little bit more because you at least took the time to watch the entire video. But I'm sorry it's very long. I already said I really needed to explain it because I didn't want to have to talk about it again, make another video. So yeah, that's about it. Again, sorry it was very long, and I want to thank you know, the people who don't like me for just my looks, you know, people who offer nice comments, you know, actually talk about what I'm talking about in my videos, you know, they actually listen to what I'm saying. And then the really nice subscribers I've met in person who weren't creepy. You guys were very friendly, and I was very happy I met you. So you know, hopefully I would love to meet more of the nice subscribers who are not creepy. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and Peach, remember, Peach, I love you guys. Bye.